Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Hello? Am I audible and visible? Chikir Shah, Ganesh, Hemlata, good afternoon. Subrat, Shilpa. Okay. So, we have discussed all the five dynasties which ruled the Delhi Sultanate: the slave dynasty or the Ilbari Turks, the Khaljis, the Tughlaqs, the Saids, and the Lodhis. So, when Ibrahim Lodi was ruling Delhi, three people invited a certain Babur to attack Delhi. Babur was the ruler of Kabul in Afghanistan. So these three people were Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, Alam Khan Lodi, the uncle of Ibrahim Lodi, and Rana Sangha or Rana Sangram Singh of Mewar, the most powerful ruler of North India. Now, why these three people separately invited Babur, I'll tell you later when I come to the Mughal Empire. They had selfish interests, so we will talk about it when I come to the Mughal Empire. So either way, these three people separately invited Babur. Babur already was planning an attack for the fifth time, and then on the invitation of these three people, he came to India. Then happened the first battle of Panipat, in which Babur killed Ibrahim Lodi and established the Mughal Empire. So Ibrahim Lodi's only credit being he was the only Delhi Sultan to die on the battlefield. So this is where I stopped before lunch break. Can we continue? Am I audible and visible? All of you? Can I move on? Let us finish this chapter and go to the next chapter, Mughal Empire. Audible, visible, all of you, late joinees? Okay, great. So, first battle of Panipat, April the 21st, 1526. So, we'll talk about it later. The battle plan of Babur. What is the plan he adopted to fight against Ibrahim Lodi? So, let us look at other aspects of the Delhi Sultanate chapter. So, the empire was divided into a number of provinces. As you can see on your screen, the empire was divided into provinces called Iktas under an Iqtadar, Naim, or a Wali. So he was the officer in charge of the Iqta. So what was the duty of the Iqtadar? His duty was to maintain law and order, collect land, maintain law and order. Sorry, his duty was to maintain law and order, collect land revenue, and act as a judge in that area. Okay, and then when the king went to war, assist the king in his wars. The Iqtadars were transferable from one place to another place. They could be transferred. They did not own any lands. Their position depended upon the Sultan. The Sultan could make or unmake an Iqtadar, and they were transferable. Okay, so he did not own any personal lands. So that was the duty of the Iqtadar: law and order, collection of land revenue, and judge in that area. Subdivided into provinces were subdivided into districts called Shik under a Shikdar. So, okay. Hmm? Okay. Am I audible and visible? Hello, can you please raise your hands? Am I audible and visible? Yes, sir. Kola says yes. What about others? Hemalata, is my voice still breaking? Panyata, now okay. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This one was down. Was up. I put it down. I put it down. Madhapadi. It's visible. Bus, bus. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. Yeah. All well now? Audible and visible. All good. Okay, great. So I was explaining to you the duty of the Iqtidar. So out of the total gross land revenue collected by him, from that ICTA, he has to minus or defray the expenses required for running the administration of that ICTA. And then also his personal remuneration, whatever earlier he had been, whatever was the amount decided by the Iqtidar with the Sultan. So he will defray that, reduce that. Or minus that from the total gross revenue, and then the rest will be sent by the Iqtidar to the central government, and that is called Fawazil. Clear? Fawazil is clear? Hello? Fawazil is clear? Right. Then let us look at other aspects of the Delhi Sultanate administration. Sultan was the head of the state, so there was no definite law of succession. It was always the sword, mostly the sword, which decided the issue of succession. So we see so many assassinations, plots, murders happening to snatch away the throne. So there was no definite law of succession amongst the Delhi sultans. If the sultan has 10 sons, all the sons were equally eligible to become the next sultan. Then other aspects of their administration, we have the bureaucracy. Naib-e-Sultan was a deputy sultan. For example, Malik Kafur was appointed as deputy sultan by Alauddin Khalji. So Naib-e-Sultan, deputy sultan. Wazir. Wazir was the prime minister and the finance minister. Headed the department of finance. Diwan-e-Wazarat. Diwan-e-Wazarat was the finance department. Ariz-e Mamalik. That is the commander in chief. CNC is commander in chief. CNC. Commander in chief. And he was head of the military department. Diwani Ariz was the military department. Diwani Ariz. Then Amir Munshi or Dabir was in charge of the Department of Royal Correspondence. Diwani Insha. Who established the military department? Hello, class. Who established the military department? Hello, who established the military department? Can you answer that question? Balban, very good. Shilpa is right. Shilpa is right. Shilpa is, Shreya. No. Yeah, Balban is the person. Balban established the military department. Diwani Ariz and appointed a commander, Ariz Mamalik. Right. Mitali, Alauddin established a spy department, Department of Spy, Diwani Barid, and also Diwani Mustakraj, the department to collect revenue arrears. Then Sadar was the department in charge of religious affairs, religious and endowment department. That is Diwani Risalat under this officer called Sadar. So Diwani Risalat was the religious and endowment department under Sadar. Law department, head of the law department, Qazi ul Kuzat. So obviously he dealt with Islamic law, Muslim law. Diwani Barid, intelligence department, established headed by the Baridi Mamalik. Who established a spy department? Diwani Barid. Who established the spy department? Alauddin, Nikhil, very good. Mitali, Alauddin Khalji, very good. Then Akur Beg was the head of cavalry. Darogai Pil, superintendent of royal elephants. Superintendent of royal elephants. Right. Then other officers have given you. Barid were spies and intelligence officers. Vakil Idar, in charge of royal household and karkhanas. Karkhanas are workshops, as you know, workshops. Royal household is the palace. No, royal household is the palace. So he was the officer in charge of the royal household and karkhanas. Vakil Idar. Amir Hajib or Amir Barbak, master of ceremonies and protocol. He was also the protocol officer. Protocol is, arranging the officers on the basis of their seniority in the court. So whoever is senior most will be closer to the emperor, and who is junior will be far away from the emperor. He'll be made to sit or stand far away from the emperor. So master of ceremonies, important ceremonies like the coronation ceremony, okay, etc. They were all taken care by the Amir Hajib. Amiri Majlis, in charge of royal parties, and Jandars were bodyguards. Jandars were bodyguards. Changes in the economy and commerce. You see, the currency system was based on the silver tanka and the copper jital. So Iltutmish was the one who introduced the silver tanka and the copper jital. So basic coinage of the Delhi Sultanate introduced by Iltutmish. The Turks introduced paper manufacturing and spinning wheel. So in 13th century, paper was introduced in India. Paper manufacturing and spinning wheel, the charkha. Important port was Cambay or Kambayat in Gujarat. Then we have the Persian wheel, which was fixed with a gear, that is called gear mechanism, so that it could draw water from a deeper level for irrigation. So that is called gear mechanism, which was attached to a Persian wheel or sakya. Alauddin Khalji established a highly efficient postal system. So it was Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq who introduced horse couriers. Take down that. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq, founder of the Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq established horse couriers. Horse couriers. Established horse couriers. That is, the couriers delivered by the horse, by the use of horse. Those are called horse couriers. Then Amir Khusro, I put a short note on Amir Khusro. We have seen this. He was given the title of Tut-e-Hind, Parrot of India by Alauddin Khalji. So Alauddin Khalji was the one who gave him this title of Parrot of India. He was more of a poet than a historian. So he was more of a poet than a historian. He is considered to be the first poet of Hindavi language, which was precursor to both Hindi and Urdu. So Hindavi was a precursor to Hindi and Urdu. And he was a disciple of Hazrat Nizamuddin Auliya. He saw the rule of 7 Delhi Sultans from Balban to Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. So Amir Khusro saw the rule of 7 Delhi Sultans from Balban to Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. And these are the various books written by him. Khazain al-Futuh. So it talks about the conquest of Malik Kafur in the south, the military expeditions of Alauddin Khalji's campaigns, Kafur's campaigns in South India. Description of Jauhar in Persian is given for the first time by Amir Khusro in this book. Khazain al-Futuh. Nusifir, reign of Mubarak Khalji. Mubarak Khalji was the son of Alauddin Khalji. You remember Shihabuddin was killed by him, Mubarak Khalji, who called himself as a Khalifa. So it talks about the reign of Mubarak Khalji, praises India as paradise on earth in this book. Ashika or Deval Rani Kisar Khani, that is romance of Devala Devi and Kisar Khan. Devala Devi was the daughter of Kamala Devi. Devala Devi, daughter of Kamala Devi. So this is romance of Devala Devi and Kisar Khan, romance and marriage. Then Kiran Usadain and Mifta ul Futu. Kiran Futu, Mifta ul Futu. These are all the books written by Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro also is the person who invented a number of, what do you call, Ragas. He established, he found a number of ragas like Gora, Ayman, Sanam. These are all ragas established by him. Sitar is supposed to have been invented by him. Sitar. He's supposed to have invented the sitar. Gora, Ayman, Sanam are all ragas established by Amir Khusro. Right. Gora, Ayman, Sanam. So this is supposed to be the residence of the Nizamuddin Aulia, the popular Sufi saint's residence, Chilla Nizamuddin Aulia. Okay, let us look at the questions from this chapter, Delhi Sultanate. Let us look at the questions. After consolidating his power, Balban assumed the grand title of Tutiya Hind, Kaisar Hind, Zilli Ilahi, Dini Ilahi. So obviously, Zilli Ilahi, shadow of God. Zilli Ilahi, shadow of God. Consider the following 1998 question. Tughlaqabad Fort, Lodi Garden, Qutub Minar, and Fatehpur Sikri. Correct chronological order in which they were built. So who can answer this? Tughlaqabad Fort was built by whom? Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq was the one who built this. Lodi Gardens by the Lodis. Qutub Minar by Iltutmish. And Fatehpur Sikri by Akbar. No, they're asking correct chronological order. So first comes who obviously Qutub Minar, 3 comes first. Then we have Tughlaqabad Fort, 1 comes. Then Lodi Gardens, Lodis come next. And lastly Akbar comes, 4. 3, 1, 2, 4. 3, 1, 2, 4 is the answer. B is the answer, right? 3, 1, 2, 4. Fawazil in the Sultanate period means what? 1998. So we have discussed this. Extra payment made to the nobles? No. Revenue assigned in lieu of salary? No. Excess amount paid to the exchequer by the Iqtadars? That's the answer. Right? That is called Fawazil. Who was the last ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate? 2004. Nasruddin Mahmud Tughlaq. So during his period in 1398, Timur plundered Delhi. Timur attacked and plundered Delhi. So Nasruddin Mahmud Tughlaq was the last ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty. The next question. This is also UPSC question. 2006. Assertion A. Muhammad bin Tughlaq issued a new gold coin which was called Dinar by Ibn Battuta. This is correct. Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to issue token currency in gold coins to promote trade with West Asian and North African countries. Obviously, this is wrong. So answer is A is true, R is false. Issue token currency in bronze coins, not gold coins. Next, historian and work. Historian and work. Minajus Siraj, Tabakatti Nasiri, Hasan Nizami, Tajul Masir, Isami, Futur Salatin, and Ziauddin Barani, Tariki Firuz Shahi. Tariki Firuz Shahi. So this is the match. So questions can be asked like this also. It's not a UPSC question, but I found it relevant, important, so I put it. Then department and creator. Diwani Barid, spy department. Who established a spy department? You all know this. Alauddin Khalji. Department of Agriculture. Diwani Kohi. Agriculture department. Who established agriculture department? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Very good. Jia. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Diwani Khairat. Welfare department. Who established welfare department? Diwani Khairat. Firuz Shah Tughlaq. Very good. Jia, Satyanarayana. So Diwani Khairat was Firuz Shah Tughlaq. And Diwani Aris, military department. Balban. Obviously Balban. So that's the answer. Then Which of the following is also known as Minar Shamshi? Which is also known as Minar Shamshi. So Minar is a tower. Char Minar, definitely not. Chand Minar, no. Alay Minar, no. Qutub Minar is the answer. So what was the full name of who built the Qutub Minar? Iltutmish. What was his full name? What was the full name of Iltutmish? Shamshuddin Iltutmish. You can see. I'll just show you. See this on your screen. See, Shamshuddin Iltutmish. Full name. So they're asking Minar Shamshi. So answer is Iltutmish. Did you get me that? Shamshuddin Iltutmish. Minar Shamshi. So answer is Qutub Minar. Match the following by using the codes given below. City and founder. Jahan Pana. Who founded Jahan Pana city? Qutub Minar was built by Iltutmish Gaurav. So Jahan Pana Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Deen Pana Humayun. The sixth city of Delhi. Siri built by Alauddin. Jia, very good. Mehrauli, first city of Delhi, built by obviously Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Shreya, very good. Gaurav, I have told you this. Whoever completes the monument, the credit goes to him. Probably you missed that class. Foundation was laid by Aibak. It was completed by Iltutmish. Mr. Gaurav, are you clear? So we have discussed this. Don't miss any classes, please. If you miss, then you'll have this confusion. Gaurav. Then consider the following statements. 2021 question. It was during the reign of Iltutmish that Genghis Khan reached the Indus in pursuit of the fugitive Khwarezmi prince. Is it yes or no? First statement. Yes. Very good, Jia. Ganesh also has answered. Satyanarayana also has answered. Dinesh. Okay. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Timur occupied Multan and crossed the Indus. During whose period did Timur come to India? The last Tughlaq, Nasruddin Mahmud Tughlaq. So therefore, this statement is wrong. Very good, Jia. It was during the reign of Devaraya II of Vijayanagara Empire that Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala. So we have yet to come to Vijayanagara period. So obviously, unless you have studied, you will not know. It is Immadi Narasimha. That is near Narasimha the two, not Devaraya the two. So the third statement is wrong. So which of the statements are correct? That is only first is correct. A is correct. Only A is the answer. Okay. Then we move on. Yeah, with reference to Indian history, consider the following statements. 2022. Yeah, Iltutmish, yeah, Timur came in 1398, not 1498, Ganesh, 1398, not 1498. Then, with reference to Indian history, consider the following statements. The first Mongol invasion of India happened during the reign of Jalaluddin Khalji. Yes or no? Don't look at the answer. Answer the question statement. First statement, yes or no? Yeah, Jia is right. It happened in the time of Iltutmish, not Jalaluddin Khalji. So this statement is wrong. During the reign of Alauddin Khalji, one Mongol assault marched up to Delhi and besieged the city. Yes or no? Yeah, Dinesh, you're right. Vasco da Gama came in 1498. Yes, that is right. Muhammad bin Tughlaq temporarily lost portions of northwest of his kingdom to Mongols. Yes or no? It is wrong. So the answer is how many are correct, they're asking. Only the second statement is correct. Then, with reference to Indian history, who of the following were known as Kuladaran? So this was a cutoff question asked in 2022. So basically, the answer is Sayyids. I believe Sayyids used to wear a pointed cap. So on their head, they used to have a pointed cap like this. So if this is the face, this is the face. This is called, this pointed cap was called Kuladaran. So the answer is Kula is pointed cap, and Daran is one who is wearing it. So Kula Daran, they wore a special pointed cap called Kula. So the answer is Saids. Right? This is the end of the Delhi Sultanate chapter. Any doubts? Any questions? Any clarifications required? Any doubts? Any questions? Any clarifications required? Can I go to the next chapter? Mughal Empire. Not audible. Shilpa says not audible. What about others? Shilpa, maybe a problem from your end. Others have not having any problem. Shilpa. Yeah, others are not having a problem, Shilpa. Maybe refresh your page or maybe see whether any other electronic device is near your your computer. Okay, let us. Any doubts here? No problem. Can we go to the next chapter? So let us go to the next chapter. Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire on your screen. So Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1707. So these are the great Mughals. As you can see, that this was their war flag with a lion and a sun. Okay, an imperial seal of the Mughals. So great Mughals are Babur to Aurangzeb. Babur. So Babur, then Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. So these are the great Mughals who ruled from 1526 to 1707. And from 1707 till 1857, 1858, we have the later Mughals. The rule of the later Mughals, a poor replica of the great Mughals. These later Mughals, all useless fellows, that you study as part of modern India. Later Mughals you study as part of modern India. The sons and successors of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb dies in 1707. The successors of Aurangzeb are called later Mughals, who ruled till 1857, 1858. The mutiny, Sepoy mutiny, took place in 1857. And the last Mughal ruler, Bahadur Shah Zafar or Bahadur Shah II, was sent away to Rangoon in Myanmar or Burma, and he died there in the year 1862. That was the end of the Mughal Empire. So Bahadur Shah Zafar dies in 1862. And that was the end of the Mughal Empire. But then we are not going to study later Mughals. We are only going to stop till the death of Aurangzeb, 1707. So you can see here on your screen, this is the empire of the Mughals. This outline you see here. This was the kingdom established by Babur. So Babur ruled this area with Kabul. Then the yellow, which you see in yellow, that was the conquest of Akbar. As you can see, he conquered Akbar's conquest. And these were added by Aurangzeb. So the maximum territorial extent of the Mughal Empire happened under the rule of Aurangzeb. Maximum territorial extent. So the NCRT has deleted this Mughal chapter. I don't know why, but then they ruled for quite a long time, 1526 to 1707, and then on till 1857, 1858. So important chapter, Mughal chapter. So we'll talk about it. So Mughals, please understand, are known more by their titles. Mughals are known more by their titles than by their real name. For example, Babur. Babur means tiger, but his real name was um, um, Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur. Zahiruddin Muhammad. That was his real name. Zahiruddin Muhammad. Babur means tiger. So Babur was his title. Similarly, Nasruddin Muhammad, Humayun, Nasruddin Muhammad, Humayun. Humayun means fortunate. Humayun, Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, Abdul Fath, Abul Fath Jalaluddin, Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Okay. Then Salim, who became Jahangir, like that. They're known more by their titles than by their real names. So let us talk about the great Mughals, Babur, starting with Babur, and then Humayun, etc. So, as you know, as you understand, three people invited a certain Babur to attack Delhi, and Babur came. So let us understand a little bit about Babur, who this Babur was, why did he attack Delhi, what was his plan, what was going on in his mind. So let us understand who this Babur was. Babur. Now, Babur's father was the ruler of Fargana. You can see here Fargana. Where is Fargana? On your screen. So his father was the king of Fargana. Fargana is here. Okay. Samarkand is here. You can see Samarkand. Now, Babur's father was the king of Fargana. His name was Sheikh Mirza. Sheikh Mirza, the king of Fargana. And Babur was the descendant of two great Mongols. He was a descendant of two great Mongols, Babur. One was Timur. So he was a descendant of Timur from his father's side. And you know, Timur had plundered Delhi in 1398. And he was a descendant of Chengiz Khan. Chengiz Khan from his mother's side. So from his mother's side, he was a descendant of Chengiz Khan. And from his father's side, a descendant of Timur. From his father's side. So the blood of two Mongol warriors was running in his veins. Now you please understand, Timur, when he attacked Delhi, Nasruddin Muhammad Tughlaq, Nasruddin Mahmud Tughlaq was the Tughlaq ruler, during whose period Timur plundered Delhi. Timur had conquered a few territories. He had conquered a few areas. What are the areas he had conquered? He had conquered Kabul. He had conquered Kandahar. He had conquered Herat and a few provinces in the Punjab, a few areas in the Punjab. These are called Timurid principalities. These are called Timurid principalities. So Timur had conquered all those areas when he had come to India, when he had attacked India and plundered Delhi, Kabul, Kandahar, Herat, Punjab, etc., parts of the Punjab, etc. Now, Sheikh Mirza, Babur was the son of Sheikh Mirza, who was the ruler of Fargana, and Sheikh Mirza died. And Babur became the king of Fargana. Okay, Babur became the king of Fargana. Now, during those days, understand this, during those days, there were three powerful entities in Central Asia, three powerful rulers or entities in Central Asia, vying with each other, competing with each other for domination over Central Asia. We have the Safavids of Persia. Understand this? The Safavid dynasty. Safavids of Persia or Iran. And who was the king of the Safavids? His name was Shah Ismail. So his name was Shah Ismail, the king of Iran or Persia. Then we have number 2, change pen color. Pooja, I'm using blue and red and green. It's not visible. What about others? I'm using, I think, neutral colors, red, green, and blue on a white background. Pooja says it's not visible. Hello? Pooja, you're still not able to see? No, I'm using neutral colors, not light colors. Miss Pooja? Okay, everybody has not having any problem, Puja. Okay, we'll come back here. So, the Safavids of Persia, the king of the Safavids of Persia was Shah Ismail. Then number two, we have the Uzbeks. Uzbek. So the king of the Uzbeks was Shabani Khan Uzbek. Shabani Khan Uzbek, the king of the Uzbeks. Shabani Khan Uzbek. And number three, the Ottoman Turks. The Ottomans. Ottoman Turks. So these three powerful entities trying to dominate Central Asia. Now, please understand, Babur had the support of Shah Ismail. Babur had the support of Shah Ismail. So Babur was supported by Shah Ismail, the king of Persia. But then what happened is Shah Ismail died. Shah Ismail died. Once Shah Ismail died, Babur became alone. He did not have any support from any powerful ruler. And what was the ambition of Babur? On your screen, ambition of Babur was to conquer Samarkand. You can see here, Samarkand is here. Samarkand. This is Samarkand. And this was the ancestral homeland of the Mughals. This was the ancestral homeland of the Mughals, Samarkand. And Babur's dream was to conquer Samarkand. So Babur's dream was to conquer Samarkand and rule over Samarkand. And of course, two times he conquered Samarkand. Twice he conquered Samarkand, Babur. But both the times, the Shaybani Khan Uzbek snatched it away from Babur. Shaybani Khan Uzbek took away Samarkand from Babur. Not only Shaybani Khan Uzbek took away Samarkand from Babur, he also conquered Fargana from Babur. So Babur, you can see, Babur was the king of Fargana. So he had succeeded his father there. So two times he had conquered Samarkand. Shaybani Khan Uzbek took away Samarkand from Babur both the times. And also he conquered Fargana. So Babur became a king without a kingdom. He did not have a kingdom. So he was a king without a kingdom. So, and his situation was very, very desperate. He has lost Fargana, he has lost Samarkand. And his uncle, Babur had a paternal uncle. So his uncle was ruling over far away Kabul. You can see here Kabul here on your screen. So his uncle was ruling over far away Kabul. Babur took his army and attacked Kabul and conquered Kabul from his uncle. Did you get me? He conquered Kabul from his uncle. So this is destiny. Destiny had brought him from Central Asia to the borders of Northwest India. So destiny had brought him to Kabul, to the borders of Northwest India from Central Asia. And when he was ruling over Kabul, Babur thought, what if this Shaybani Khan Uzbek attacks Kabul and conquers Kabul? Again, he'll become a king without a kingdom. So Babur thought, what if Shaybani Khan Uzbek conquers Kabul also from him? Then he'll become a king without a kingdom. And then Babur thought, since he was a descendant of Timur, you can see on your screen, he was a descendant of Timur from his father's side, isn't it? And Timur had conquered, when he came to India, Timur in 1398, he had conquered all these areas, Kabul, Kandahar, Herat, parts of Punjab, etc. So Babur felt that if he conquers, if he is able to conquer a few parts of the Punjab, he felt he has a right over those parts of the Punjab because once upon a time it belonged to his ancestor, Timur. So he felt if he is able to secure a few parts of the Punjab, then he'll be safe. Even if he loses Kabul to Shabani Khan Uzbek, he can go and take shelter in Punjab, in those parts of the Punjab which once upon a time had been conquered by his ancestor, Timur. So here, Babur, as he was in Kabul, began to raid into the borders of India. So he made these are called exploratory raids of Babur. Exploratory raids. And he conquered a few forts. He conquered a few forts on the borders of India. In these four raids of his, four exploratory raids. And he was planning an attack for the fifth time. And that's the time when these three people, Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, Alam Khan Lodi, the uncle of Ibrahim Lodi and Rana Sangram Singh or Rana Sangha of Mewar, they invited Babur to attack Delhi. And they told Babur, if you attack Delhi, we will support you. Did you get me here? All of you, can you raise your hands? Did you understand the background here? Did you understand the background? Can you raise your hands? Hello? Yeah. So, these three people, you see here on your screen, Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, Alam Khan Lodi, the uncle of Ibrahim Lodi, who hated Ibrahim Lodi, and Rana Sangha of Mewar, the ruler of Mewar, with capital Chittor. These three people separately invited Babur to attack Delhi. What was the reason why they invited Babur? Understand this. Why did these three people invite Babur? You please attack Delhi and we will support you. Why did they do that? Because each of these people had their own selfish motive. They had a selfish motive, and that selfish motive was to rule from Delhi. They thought Babur will come and he will either kill or plunder Delhi. He'll either kill Ibrahim Lodi and then he'll loot and plunder Delhi and he'll go back. Babur will come, he will either defeat or kill Ibrahim Lodi on the battlefield and then loot, plunder and go back, because all the people had plundered and gone back. No, Ghazni came, plundered and went back. Ghori came, he plundered and went back. Right? Therefore, they thought he will also do the same thing. He'll come, loot, plunder and go back after killing or defeating Ibrahim Lodi, and then they can dream of ruling from Delhi. So that was their selfish interest. And Babur came. Babur came, then happened the first battle of Panipat. Now, please understand, Babur knew the strength of the Delhi army. So, what was the strength of the Delhi army? Look here on your screen. So, when did the fateful battle of Panipat happen? April 21st, 1526. And we are told that Babur was present in Panipat by April 12th only. He had come to the field of Panipat by April 12th with his army, and he prepared the battlefield for day of about 7, 8 days, 8 days, day and night. He had a plan in his mind how he has to fight against the Lodi army. Because what was the strength of Babur's army? His strength was 12,000. Babur's army strength was 12,000 cavalry. And please understand, these were battle-hardened soldiers and officers. They were seasoned officers and soldiers. They knew, they were experienced. They knew what to do in a particular situation, whether positive or negative. They knew what to do in a particular situation. So they were all battle-hardened, experienced soldiers and officers. So 12,000 cavalry. And what was the army of what was the size of the Lodi army? 1 lakh strong. So Babur did not want to take anything to chance, because he knew that if he is defeated, then he'll be slaughtered. His army will be slaughtered. So he did not want to take anything to chance. So he came to the battlefield much in advance, and then he prepared the battlefield. So how did he prepare the battlefield? Very interesting this is. Now look here on your screen. So here Babur is supposed to have bought 700 bullock carts. He bought 700 bullock carts. Okay, so he chained those bullock carts. You can see these are the bullock carts. This is not important from the exam point of view. This is to only kindle your interest and make it interesting for you. Okay, so here you see these are the bullock carts. These are the bullock cart wheels. So these are the bullock cart wheels. So he bought bullock carts and he changed them. He chained them like this. So these are the chains. Right? These are the bullock carts. Then between the bullock carts, he had kept, cannons, artillery, cannons. So cannons have been organized between the bullock carts like this. These are the cannons. Now, behind, then he dug up a trench. There's a trench. So imagine this is a trench. He dug up a trench. So a pit, 10-15 feet in deep, 10-15 feet deep, and it was covered with branches, leaves, etc., dry grass, etc. So he's covered that. Then behind the bullock cart sat the tirandas or barakandas. So, they were expert archers. So, on top of the bullock carts, he placed those archers with their shields. So, they have a shield, they have their bow and arrow. And behind the bullock cart wheels were also the archers, expert archers, along with their shields and sword. Then Babur himself was here in the center. Babur was himself here in the center with his commanders. He relied on cavalry. And he never put his entire army on the battlefield. He also always had a reserve force. He always kept a reserve force. And then these are the flying columns of Babur. These are the flying columns. These are called flying columns. I'll write FC in short. So he has organized his army into a right wing and a left wing. And one of his wings was led by his son Humayun, his eldest son Humayun. Okay, so he has organized his army like this. He has bought 700 bullock carts. You can see on your screen. This is the organization of Babur's army. On your screen, all of you. See here. So this is Babur here in the center. This is the right flank. Okay, so right wing is here, left wing is here. Then he has, you can see those squares. These are the bullock carts. Okay, bullock carts. 700 bullock carts. And he has kept cannons in between. At vantage positions, he has kept cannons. And he has chained those bullock cart wheels to each other. So on top of the bullock cart sat the archers. So they'll have the advantage of height. So from a far distance, they can see the enemy, and they can accordingly discharge their arrows, shoot their arrows. Then he has dug up a trench. You can see this is a trench. He has organized the trench, right? And these are the flying columns of Babur. And then he also organized one sort of a wall here, so that the Delhi army cannot bypass this. They have to come like this. They cannot go behind. Okay, so he has kept his flying columns here, and he has forced them to narrow their approach. Right, they cannot spread beyond a particular point. So they're forced to narrow their approach. So here, I believe Ibrahim Lodi sent a reserve force. He wanted to test the strength of Babur. So this army, a small army, was sent by Ibrahim Lodi to test the waters, how strong Babur's army is, basically to collect information about the strength of the enemy. So they were, of course, repulsed by Babur's forces, but they collected the information and came. Just 12,000 soldiers, 12,000 cavalry, and a few pieces of artillery he has. So they came back, and the Delhi army was very, very overconfident because they were 1 lakh strong, and Babur's army was just 12,000 cavalry. So you can see here on your screen, this is the army of Ibrahim Lodi on your screen, green color. These are the elephants. He has put the elephants in the front. These are all war elephants. So he has put elephants in the front. Okay, these are the elephants. Okay, these are the elephants. Then Lodi is in the middle. And he has divided and behind the elephants were the infantry. These are the infantry. Okay, and then of course Lodi is in the front, and you have a right wing and a left wing. So this is the battle plan of Babur and Ibrahim. So the Delhi army comes marching, under the command of their king Ibrahim. So they come marching, and elephants are in the front, and the soldiers are behind the elephants. And then what do they see on the battlefield? They see bullock carts, hundreds of bullock carts lined against each other. And the soldiers in the front, they stop. Because they have never seen bullock carts on a battlefield. So here, this technique of warfare was alien to the Delhi Sultans. They had never known this technique. Babur had learned these techniques earlier from other battles he had fought. I'll come to that in some time. So when they saw bullock carts, the soldiers in the front, they stopped. Because their medieval brains could not fathom, could not calculate, could not think what were bullock carts doing there. So there was confusion in the ranks. The people in the behind are confused why the people in the front are stopping. So there was a confusion in the ranks of Ibrahim's soldiers. And that is the time when Babur let loose his flying columns. You can see this. These are the flying columns. So what is this flying columns? This is called Tulguma, wheeling tactics. Wheeling tactics. That is, you have mounted archers. So you have galloping horses. So those horsemen are standing on the horse. They're standing on the stirrups and they're discharging arrows at the enemy. And their business is to surround the enemy. They have to surround the enemy, and they're all the while shooting arrows at the enemy, right? And then simultaneously, Babur orders the cannons to, go boom. So he orders the cannons to blast. So the cannons go boom, and the elephants, the barrage of those cannonballs are taken by the elephants. Now, please understand, Babur uses gunpowder for the first time on the soil of India, on the soil of North India. So this was in the first battle of Panipat. First battle of Panipat, Babur uses using gunpowder for the first time on the soil of North India. So then the question obviously arises, who used gunpowder for the first time on the soil of India? It was used in 1367, as early as 1367, in the Battle of Mudkal. In the Battle of Mudkal, between Bukka, the Vijayanagara king Bukka uses gunpowder uh, against his adversary, Mahmud Shah Bahamani, in the Battle of Mudkal, 1367. When I come to Vijayanagara, we will talk about it. So, for the first time, it was used in the Battle of Mudkal, 1367. Here, in first Battle of Panipat in 1526, Babur is using gunpowder for the first time. So the elephants take the barrage of the gunpowder, the cannonballs. So their tusks get crushed. They're taking a hit on their body, on their face, etc. And the elephants are falling down. They're collapsing on their own soldiers. Many of the elephants are turning back and running away, stamping their own soldiers. There's a lot of confusion in the ranks. And that is a time when Babur orders his archers to fire. So the Delhi army is literally surrounded by Babur's army. The battle, I believe, began at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 a.m. By 6 p.m., it was over. By 6 p.m., it was over, and Ibrahim Lodi lay dead on the battlefield, and the Delhi army had been defeated. And Babur went and sat on the throne of Delhi and established thus the Mughal Empire. He established the Mughal Empire. So this tactic is called Ottoman Rumi and Tulguma. Tulguma is wheeling tactics, that is, mounted archers surrounding the army of the adversary by shooting arrows. And Ottoman Rumi, he had learned it from Shaibani Khan, from the Ottoman Turks. He had learned it from the Ottoman Turks, Ottoman Rumi. That is alternate arrangements of bullock carts, soldiers, and cannons, as you can see here. So that is called Ottoman Rumi and Tulguma. This technique was alien to the Delhi Sultans. So this was a thrilling victory scored by Babur. So Babur used two novel techniques, as you can see on your screen. One was wheeling tactics or Tulguma, learned from Shaibani Khan Uzbek. And the other is Rumi, learned by the Ottoman Turks. That is alternate arrangement of cannons, horses, and carts, bullock carts. That's called Ottoman Rumi. Why not Rana Sanga attacked Lodi directly? So Rana Sanga had defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Katoli, Gaurav, 1518. You can see here, I mentioned it here. When I did when I did Lodis, you see here, you can see on your screen, in the Battle of Katoli, Rana Sanga had defeated Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi. But then he alone couldn't have uprooted the Lodi Sultan. So that's what, um, so it would have been at a heavy cost for him. So he had defeated Lodi, but he could not uproot him from the throne of Delhi and conquer Delhi. So he wanted Babur to do that job for him. Okay. As I told you, they had selfish motives. So here, did you get me? Gunpowder is, he uses cannons. Artillery is used. Cannonballs along with gunpowder. Cannonballs along with gunpowder. Obviously, without the cannonball cannot fire without a gunpowder, isn't it? Kennedy. So he was the first to use gunpowder on the soil of North India. And gunpowder could be used with or without a cannon. You can take the gunpowder and you can, uh, uh, put it under the fort wall, dig up a trench or dig up a ditch and put the gunpowder and detonate it so that the fort wall can break, or there's a breach in the fort wall. So it can be used like that also. Kennedy, did you get me that? Yeah. So this is the famous Battle of Panipat in which Babur won, and he gave the credit of his victory to his cavalry. So cavalry, he relied on cavalry, Babur, because you can move your cavalry the way you want. So the soothsayers, he had been warned by the soothsayers, the astrologers, that he will be killed, that for stars foretell their doom, etc. But Babur never gave heed to those advice. He set aside the advice of those astrologers, soothsayers. He had great confidence in his own ability and in his God Allah, great faith in his God Allah. So then he won this battle of Panipat and he went and sat on the throne of Delhi and established the Mughal Empire. Now, the calculation of these three people went awry. Daulat Khan Lodi, Alam Khan Lodi, Rana Sangram Singh, who had thought Babur will either kill or defeat Ibrahim Lodi, he'll plunder and loot, and he'll go back to Kabul. But why would Babur want to go back to Kabul? When he had become the master of Delhi. So therefore, they turned against him. They had never thought or foreseen this might happen. So they turned against him. So the next battle which Babur fought was the Battle of Khanua. You can see the Battle of Khanua. This is in 1527. So 1 year had lapsed. Babur's army had increased to 40,000. So the strength of his army had increased to 40,000. And Rana Sangram Singh or Rana Sanga of Mewar organized an army of 2 lakhs. 2 lakh Rajputs. 2 lakh Rajput army. So he brought most kingdoms of North and Western India, the most Rajput kingdoms under his command. And he declared war against Babur. So you have Babur's 40,000 soldiers versus a 2 lakh army of Rana Sangram Singh. This is the famous Battle of Khanua. Now, I believe when the soldiers of Babur came to know the strength of the Rajput army, they put down their swords. They dropped their swords and they told Babur, we are not going to fight this battle because we are heavily outnumbered. We are heavily outnumbered. Those Rajputs, either they'll kill or get killed. They will not run away. So therefore, we are going to be definitely defeated. We are outnumbered. We are not going to fight this battle. That is a time when we have the leadership qualities of Babur, which was on display. The leadership qualities. He was a great general. So he gave a speech. In the midst of his soldiers, he stood and gave a speech. And he said, Babur told his soldiers, this is not an ordinary war. This is jihad, holy war. He called this war as holy war. Holy war, jihad. He calls it as jihad. And he took the title of Ghazi, holy warrior. He takes the title of Ghazi, holy warrior. And he told his soldiers, if you die in this battlefield, if you die on the battlefield fighting this war, you will get a direct ticket to heaven, to Allah. You can meet God, Allah, directly. So what more do you want, you fellows? So he inspired his soldiers like this by telling that it's a holy war. If they die, it will be for the cause of Allah. They can meet Allah. And then he broke all the wine casks, whatever wine pots were there in the Mughal camp. He broke them, saying that this is a holy war, so no drinking wine. Women would not be allowed in the Mughal camp. So no women to be entertained in the Mughal camp for dancing, etc. So no women to be allowed in the Mughal camp. No drinking wine in this battle among the soldiers. And then he told his soldiers he will excuse all the taxes. They don't need to pay any taxes. And when the soldiers came to know that this is a jihad, holy war, and then if they die, it will be for the cause of Allah, they can meet Allah, they picked up their swords. They picked up their swords and they were ready to fight. The same technique Babur used as he had used in the first battle of Panipat. Ottoman Rumi, Tulguma, wheeling tactics. So in the battle of Khanwa, we are told that Babur's soldiers fought like tigers. They fought very bravely, and the Rajput army was decimated. 2 lakh soldiers were defeated. Rana Sanga was grievously wounded, and within a short period of time, he died. The Battle of Kanwa was a much more serious battle when compared to the first Battle of Panipat, because the adversary was much more stronger. Compared to Ibrahim Lodi, Rana Sanga was a much more powerful ruler, and he had organized a double army, double the strength of the Delhi army, 2 lakh Rajputs. So Rana Sanga was wounded and he died very shortly. This is the Battle of Kanwa. Next battle, 1528, Battle of Chanderi. So we have the ruler of Chanderi, Medini Rai. So Babur defeated him and killed him. Battle of Chanderi. And then we have the Battle of Ghagra. The rulers of Bihar and Bengal came together. Nusrat Shah of Bengal, Muhammad Lodi of Bihar. So Nusrat Shah of Bengal, Mahmud Lodi of Bihar. They fought against Babur. Again, Babur defeated both of them. So in 4 years, he fought 4 battles. First Battle of Panipat, Battle of Kanwa, Battle of Chanderi, Battle of Ghagra. And he became the master of Hindustan. Babur had become the master of Hindustan. What is master of Hindustan? What is Hindustan here? From Kashmir to the Vindhyas, Central India. From Kashmir to the Vindhyas, everything was his. So what was his desire? If you remember, he only wanted a few parts of the Punjab, which his ancestor Taimur had conquered. So he thought if Kabul is conquered by Shabani Khan Uzbek, at least he can go and take shelter in those parts of the Punjab. But then here, destiny had other plans, and Babur had become the master of Hindustan. From Himalayas to Vindhyas, everything was his. Are you there with me? Gaurav, why Rana Sanga died instead of I said the Rajput army was decimated. It was defeated by Babur, and Rana Sanga was grievously wounded. And within a short period after the battle, he died. Right? So this is what history tells us, Gaurav. This is the reality. Right? So here, Babur had won 4 battles in 4 years. And then what happened? His eldest son, understand this, Babur's eldest son, Humayun, young fellow like you people, in his 20s, he was on his deathbed. Humayun was on his deathbed, some problem, some ailment, and he was not responding to the treatment. Hakims or doctors, Ayurvedic, Unani doctors, Ayurvedic doctors, they came and administered medication to Humayun, the eldest son of Babur. He had participated in all these wars along with his father. First Battle of Panipat, Kanwa, Chanderi, Ghagra. And a young boy in his 20s, he was on his deathbed, and he was not responding to the treatment. So the Hakims, the doctors, told Babur, "We have tried our best. We are not able to fathom why he is not responding to the medication. I feel you should just pray to God and Allah, and if Allah wills it, then your son might survive." So this broke the heart of Babur when he heard this, that his son is on this deathbed. It is said that Babur went into his private prayer hall. So he had a small prayer hall. He went into that. He closed the door and he began to do namaz. He began to pray to Allah, God Allah, day and night. He began to meditate and pray sincerely. And in his prayer, we are told that he asked for an exchange of life. So he told in his prayers to Allah that I have lived my life. I have lived my life. You please save my son's life. And whatever extra life I have within me, you transfer that reminder of my life to my son. Let my son live. Let I die. So his prayers seems to be answered. His prayers seem to have been answered. And miraculously, it is said that Humayun began to show signs of recovery. He began to recover. Slowly, he began to recover. He showed signs of recovery. And Babur, meanwhile, fell sick. And by the time Humayun fully recovered, Babur was on his deathbed. So Humayun had fully recovered, and Babur was on his deathbed. On his deathbed, Babur called his son Humayun and took a promise from him. You see, Babur had many wives. He had many wives, and from them many children. So he had he had 3 other sons. Apart from Humayun, he had 3 other sons: Kamran, Ashkari, Hindal. So he had three sons, Kamran, Askari, and Hindal. And his eldest son was Humayun. So he took a promise from Humayun. He told Humayun that you should treat your stepbrothers as your own brothers and divide the empire of mine equally amongst your stepbrothers. You should divide the empire equally among your stepbrothers, and you should treat your stepbrothers as your own brothers. Please promise me. And Humayun gave a promise to his father that he will fulfill his wish, his last wish. And Babur died. So this was the end of Babur. So he fought the first battle of Panipat in 1526. In 1530, that is 4 years later, Babur was dead and gone. How do we know this? How do we know this? We come to know this from Babur's autobiography, Tuzuki Baburi. Tuzuki Baburi, also called Babur Nama. So this was written in Chagatai Turkish language, in the Turkish language here, Chagatai Turkish language. He writes this autobiography of his. And in that autobiography, Babur has given us all these details. Right? Tuzuki Baburi or Babur Nama. And he had no knowledge of history writing. He had absolutely no knowledge of history writing. But the manner in which he has written his autobiography, in a very simple language, um, historians have praised it because of the simplicity of language used, the clarity of message contained in that particular autobiography of his. And for this reason, he is called the prince amongst autobiographers. Prince amongst autobiographers. Turkish languages, no, but as far as my knowledge goes, Kennedy, Turkish and Persian are different. So this is Turkish, Persian language is, Persia is the old name for Iran, and Turkish is Turkey, Turkish. So Prince amongst autobiographers. For this reason, he's called Prince amongst autobiographers, the Tuzuki Baburi or Babur Nama. Now, this Babur Nama is divided into three segments. So this is only for your information. I'll just use. I'll take the help of a material. Just hold on. So this Babur Nama is divided into three segments. So understand this. Babur Nama is divided into three parts. In the first part, he talks about Fargana. In the first part, Babur speaks about Fargana, his ancestral homeland. No, sorry, the kingdom which he ruled earlier, Fargana, and its administration. The second part, he talks about Kabul, and the third part, he talks about India. Okay, so here, Fargana, then Kabul, and India. And this Tuzuki Baburi or Babur Nama was translated into Persian. So it was translated into Persian language by Abdur Rahim Khani Khanan. By Abdur Rahim Khani Khanan. Khani Khanan. So Abdur Rahim Khani Khanan was the son of Bairam Khan. So Bairam Khan. So Bairam Khan was the person who was a loyal officer of Humayun. So when Humayun died, it was Bairam Khan who took care of Akbar, and he fought the second Panipat war against Hemu. I'll come to that in some time. So the son of Bairam Khan was this man, Abdur Rahim Khani Khanan. He was the one who translated the Tuzuki Baburi or Babur Nama into Persian language. Yes, adopted son of Akbar after he married Bairam Khan's wife. Yes, you're right, Nikhil. We'll come back here. This Babur Nama is divided into three segments. First part deals with Fargana, second and its administration. Second part deals with Kabul, and the third part deals with India. Now, look at the mental preparation of Babur. Even before he came to India, even before he fought the first battle of Panipat, Babur had collected information about India from the merchants from the merchants who used to travel across the border, and also from Sufi saints. From Sufi saints and merchants, he had collected information about India. Now, so what does Babur tell about India? So here, please understand. So he says when he came to India, Babur tells us in his autobiography, when he came to India, there were 7 rulers. There were 7 important rulers ruling different parts of India. Out of the 7 rulers, he says 5 were Muslims, 5 were Muslim kings. And he gives the names of these rulers. Who are the 5 Muslim kings? Ibrahim Lodi, the king of Delhi. Number 2, Bahmani Sultan Muhammad Shah, the king of the Bahmanis. Number 3, Muzaffar Shah the second of Gujarat. Muzaffar Shah the second of Gujarat. Then number 4, Muhammad Khalji the second. Muhammad Khalji the second of Malwa. And number 5, the king of Bengal, Nusrat Shah, the king of Bengal. So there were 7 rulers ruling there in India, important rulers. 5 were Musalmans and 2 were Kafirs, he says. 2 were Hindus, Kafirs. He calls them as Kafirs. So number 1 was Rana Sangram Singh, Rana Sangha or Rana Sangram Singh. Of Mewar, capital was Chittor. And of course, secondly, Sri Krishnadevaraya of Vijayanagara. I'll write KD Raya, Krishnadevaraya of Vijayanagara. So don't write KD in the exam, write full name, Krishnadevaraya. But in short, I will mention as Krishnadevaraya, KD Raya. So these are the 7 rulers of India mentioned by Babur. Are you there with me, all of you? Hello? 5 were Muslims and 2 were Hindus. Right. Now, Babur also mentions the geography of India. Understand this, I'll just read it out for you. He mentions the geography of India. He says, India is full of men and produce. India is full of men and produce. Population is very high and lot of things are produced. It is covered by water from the 3 sides. Hindustan is a wonderful and different world. Its mountains, rivers, jungles, deserts, towns, cultivated lands, animals, plants, people and their tongues. That is the language they speak. So, cultivated lands, animals, plants, people and their tongues. Its rains and winds are all different. Air in the rains is very pleasant, he says. When it rains, it is very, very pleasant, the air in the rains. Mango is the best fruit of India. So, he had never eaten a mango until he came to India. So, he says mango is the best fruit of India. Elephant is the best animal, he says. He had never seen an elephant until in the first battle of Panipat. So imagine, he had never seen an elephant until in the first battle of Panipat. People of low origin go about naked wearing a langota, he says. So he had never seen anybody wearing a langota. Decency cloth, men wear langota, front is covered, back is exposed. So people of low origin go about naked wearing a langoti. That's what he says. Langot, these wrestlers wear, traditional akhadas, they wear langots. So he had never seen anybody like that, wearing a langot in whichever area he came from. Then he also criticizes India. He says, Hindustan is a country of few charms. People have no good looks. That was his opinion. People have no good looks, no social intercourse, do not visit or receive visit. So they don't like to visit each other's houses. There are no good horses, grapes, dogs, no good food in the bazaars, no colleges, no running water in their gardens and palaces. The towns are dirty and not planned properly. So these are the various observations made by Babur. Are you there with me? So this is Babur mentioning about India and its geography in the Tuzuki Baburi or Babar Nama. Now, according to his wish, he was initially buried in Agra. So, Babar was initially buried in Agra, but later his body was removed. It was taken. It was his body was dug out and again reburied in Kabul in the terrace of a garden which doesn't have any roof on top. So he never wanted any roof on top of his grave. So he has been reburied in Kabul in the roof of a garden, in the terrace of a garden, which there is no roof for it. So this is about Babar. And Babar's daughter, Gulbadan Begum, wrote a biography of her brother Humayun Nama. So Humayun Nama is the biography written by Babar's Humayun's sister, that is daughter of Babar, Gulbadan Begum. So let us look at Babar here. He was a great, he was a great scholar of Chagtai Turkish language. He wrote Babar Nama or Tuzuki Baburi, invented a new style of verse in Persian called Mubayyan, I believe. Wrote Matnavi, Mubin. These are all factual information. Just go through it. Then he prepared versified version of Waladiya Risala of Sheikh Ubaidullah. His daughter, Babar's daughter, Gulbadan Begum, wrote Humayun Nama in Persian. Humayun Nama is the biography of Humayun. Biography of Humayun, written by Gulbadan Begum. He died at Agra and later reburied at Kabul. So in the terrace of a garden which doesn't have a roof on top of it. As you can see, this is the tomb of Babar. It doesn't have any roof surmounting the grave. So this is about Babar. Are you there with me, all of you? Possibly a way to put himself on a higher pedestal. What are you trying to say, Nikhil? Can you expand or what are you trying to say? Nikhil? No, that is his personal observation. He came from a different area, right? So he was a foreigner, and from the eyes of a foreigner, he was telling many things. So we might agree with him or might not agree with him. That was his observation. So yeah, that was his observation, right? So this is about Babar. Any questions? Can we move on? I hope it's not boring. What happened, Kennedy? My post is suspended. Clear. Kennedy says, is there any problem? My post is suspended. What is the meaning of post? PPTs have not been uploaded. It's been a long time. Okay. Gia, just send a mail to me. Just mail me. I will forward it to the concerned people. Then there'll be pressure on the people who are supposed to do that job. Yeah, please mail me. vijay.kumar@byju's.com. All small letters. Vijay, VIJY .kumar@. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Kennedy, any problem? You're unable to post any question. Where do you want to post a question? Okay. You're not able to post a question. Why? I don't know whether there's a subject expert or not. But you can ask me whatever I can answer. I will definitely answer. Regarding use of elephant. Yeah, tell me. So I really don't know that answer, Purva. You have to mail me. I'll only transfer it to the concerned people. So use of elephants. Yeah, I said Babur had never seen elephants until in the first battle of Panipat, Kennedy. So he says elephant is the best animal. Can I move on? Hello, all of you. Can I move on? Let us go to the next king, Humayun. Humayun. So Humayun was the favorite son of Babur, eldest son of Babur, Humayun, and you can see here on your screen he ruled in two installments, 1530 to 40, 10 years, and then for 15 years there was no Mughal Empire, 1540 to 1555. 1540 to 1555, that is for 15 years. 15 years, there was no Mughal Empire. There was no Mughal Empire. Humayun had lost everything. Stepbrothers, Kennedy, they were all stepbrothers. Yeah, so we'll come back, come to that. We'll come to that, just hold on. So 1540 to 1555, for 15 years, there was no Mughal Empire. So we'll talk about Humayun. Now, Humayun, what was his real name? You can see his real name. Mirza Nasruddin Muhammad. Mirza Nasruddin Muhammad, real name of Humayun. Humayun means fortunate. You can see Humayun. Humayun means fortunate. But his life was full of unfortunate circumstances. Humayun means fortunate, but his life was full of unfortunate circumstances, all his own making. You cannot blame anybody else except Humayun himself. Now, Humayun had some personality problems. Understand this. Humayun had some personality problems. What are the various personality problems he had? First of all, he lacked firm resolution. He lacked resolution. Right? Sustained energy. Sustained energy. That is, he will start off very well, like a soda bottle, what is called soda bottle spirit. So initially the soda bottle, when you open a soda bottle, it's got a lot of fizz and spirit. And later, it loses its spirit. So he did not have that sustained energy, could not sustain his energy for a longer period of time. He'll start well, but then he'll fizzle out. So lacked sustained energy. Then he had a lack of foresight. Lack of foresight. He was very slow in taking decisions, slow in decision making. And once he has taken a decision, he was very slow in implementing the decision. So slow in implementing the decision he has made. Slow in decision making, slow in implementing decisions. Then he was slow, he was a bad judge of people. Bad judge of people, whom to trust, whom not to trust. So bad judge of men. And as you know, if you trust the wrong person, you are in big trouble. So he was a bad judge of men. He did not know whom to trust or not to trust. Then too slow to win a battle. He was too slow to win a battle. So in a battlefield, you require quick decisions to be made. Okay, winning decisions to be taken. But then he was too slow to win a battle. And then, apart from all these problems, personality issues, he was heavily addicted to these three things: wine, women, opium. Oh, he loved these three things: wine, women, opium. Heavily addicted to wine, women, opium. So, and this addiction of this personality problem of his, costed him his empire. Now, he lost everything his father had so diligently, so carefully, so with so much of difficulty had built. So he lost everything. We'll look at it how it happened. So on your screen, so you see he faced challenges from two quarters. One is internal and the other is external. So he had three brothers. All of you know this: Kamran, Ashkari, Hindal. And true to the promise he had given his father, he divided the empire amongst his stepbrothers: Kamran, Ashkari, Hindal. Kamran was made the king of Kabul and Kandahar. Kamran was made the king of Kabul and Kandahar. Ashkari, Ashkari was given um, Ashkari was given the Sambhal region near Delhi. Sambhal area near Delhi. And Hindal was given the Alwar region. Alwar region. So Kamran, Ashkari, Hindal. So he divided the empire amongst his stepbrothers like this. Then he had two external enemies. Who are those two external enemies? One was Bahadur Shah of Gujarat, the king of Gujarat, Bahadur Shah, and Sher Shah Sur of Bihar. Sher Shah Sur of Bihar. And please understand, Humayun had defeated both of them. He defeated Bahadur Shah of Gujarat. He also defeated Sher Shah, but he did not kill them. And that's a mistake he made. He should have killed them. So you might wonder, why am I talking like this? But those days, that was the Yuddha Niti, what do you call the law of the war, the law of the battlefield. So that's how it was. So uh, he defeated Bahadur Shah of Gujarat, and he did not kill him. He defeated Sher Shah, and he did not kill him. And later he had to pay a very heavy price. So we have the ruler of Bihar, Muhammad Lodi of Bihar. We'll come to Sher Shah in some time when I do finish Mughals, and then I'll finish Marathas, and then I'll come to Suri dynasty. Suri dynasty is Sher Shah Sur. You see, Sher Khan, his original name was Farid. So this Sher, sorry, Sher Khan, his original name was Farid. Later, he befriended the Prince of Bihar, uh, no, Muhammad Khan Lohani. His name was Muhammad Khan Lohani. So, in a tiger hunt, while going on a tiger hunt, this Farid killed a tiger and thus saved Muhammad Khan Lohani, who later became the king of Bihar. So, and this Muhammad Khan Lohani was the one who gave him the title of Sher Khan. So, when that Muhammad Khan Lohani died, who the king of Bihar died, Sher Khan acted as the regent of that prince, his friend's son. He acted as the regent. Then later killed him and became the king of Bihar. Then later he became the king of Bengal also. Right, the Sher Khan. That's how he became the king of Bihar and Bengal. So earlier you can see on your screen, we have Muhammad Lodi of Bihar. So Humayun defeated him at Daura in 1530. And then you also have Humayun attacking Chunar, a fort called Chunar, which was held by Sher Khan or Sher Shah. And when Humayun approached with his army to conquer Chunar, Sher Khan decamped from there. He ran away from Chunar, but then he knew the weakness of Humayun. He left these three things in plenty in Chunar, inside the Chunar fort. That is wine, women, opium. Wine, women, and opium. He left these three things in plenty inside the Chunar fort. So Humayun, when he enters Chunar without any opposition, he was elated, was very, very happy to see these three things in plenty inside the Chunar fort. He did not understand this was a trap laid by Sher Khan. So he spent 6 months there in Chunar. He called Chunar as Jannatabad. Jannat is paradise, Jannatabad. So he called Chunar as Jannatabad, this Humayun. And for 6 months, he spent enjoying these three things, his favorite things. In the 6 months, Sher Khan regrouped. He organized his army, reorganized his army, strengthened his army, and in two decisive battles, he defeated Humayun. One is the Battle of Chausa Buxar, 1539. You can see here on your screen, 1539, Battle of Chausa Buxar. So in the Battle of Chausa, Humayun was defeated. And literally, he was caught between the devil and the deep sea. So here you have the army of Sher Khan in the front, and the river Ganga was in spate. It was in floods. So Humayun was caught between the devil and the deep sea, literally between the devil and the deep sea. In the front was the army of Sher Khan, and behind was the raging flood waters of the Ganga. He took a chance and jumped into the Ganga river. Who Humayun? Otherwise, he would have been killed by the army of Sher Khan. Miraculously, he escaped. How did he escape? You have a sakka, a water carrier. A water carrier or a sakka pulled Humayun from the Ganga river. So somehow he was saved. And then that is the time when he asked his brothers, step-brothers, Kamran, Askari, Hindal to help him with an army. They turned their back against Humayun. They never helped him and never bothered about him. So somehow he organized another army, and then again he challenged Sher Khan. And in the Battle of Bilgram or Gujarat, Battle of Gujarat or Bilgram, as you can sorry, Battle of Kannauj or Bilgram in 1540, again Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah, and Sher Shah conquered Delhi and founded the Suri dynasty. So Humayun had lost everything which his father had built, and he became a king without a kingdom. Now, during that period, he had married. In that exile, he was in exile now. He was in exile, running from pillar to post. I told you he did not know whom to trust, whom not to trust. He was a bad judge of men, and all his stepbrothers are also had turned their back against him. So here, his wife was pregnant. Humayun's wife, Hamida Banu Begum. Hamida Banu Begum was pregnant, and the time for delivery was very near. The time for delivery was very near, and here we have Humayun, who had lost everything. He approached this king of Umerkot. So you have a place called Umerkot, Amarkot, or Umerkot. It is in present day Sindh in Pakistan. It is in Sindh, Pakistan, present day Sindh, Pakistan. So there was a Rajput king ruling over this area, Amarkot or Umerkot. And the name of the king was Rana Prasad Singh Virasal. Rana Prasad Singh Virasal. So Humayun went to the court of Raja Prasad Singh Virasal with his queen, Hamida Banu Begum. And looking at the condition of his wife, who was about to deliver, the time for delivery was very, very nearby, Raja Prasad Singh Virasal gave asylum to Humayun, gave him protection, asylum in his kingdom. And in the palace of Rana Prasad Singh Virasal, in 1542, was born Akbar. Akbar was born in his court. Now, Sher Shah, who had become the ruler at Delhi, so Sher Khan had taken the title of Sher Shah. So he came to know that Humayun has been given protection by this Rajput king, Rana Prasad Singh Virasal. So he sent warnings to the Rajput king that if Humayun is continued to be protected, given protection, his kingdom will be attacked and conquered. So the Raja, without any choice, Rana Prasad Singh Virasal, ordered Humayun to get out of his kingdom. Otherwise, Sher Shah will attack him. So he had no choice but to get out. But before going away from his kingdom, he sought the permission of the Rajput king. Can I leave my wife and baby behind me, in your palace? Can I leave them behind in your kingdom? So the Raja agreed. He said, you leave them behind, no problem. You can go away. So Humayun went away to Persia. He comes to Persia. And who was the king of Persia? Shah Tamas of Iran. Shah Tamas was the son of Shah Ismail. You remember Shah Ismail had helped Babur, used to help Babur. So Humayun is supposed to have gone to Persia and told Shah Tamas, you know, that your father had helped my father. Now you please help me. Your father, Shah Ismail, used to help my father. Now you help me, and when time comes, I will repay that help. So Shah Tamas of Iran agreed to help Humayun on certain conditions. So certain conditions were put by the Shah of Iran, Shah Tamas. Number one, you should convert yourself to Shia sect. So Humayun should convert himself to Shia sect. So Iran even now is a Shia country. Majority of them are Shias. It's a Shia country. So Humayun was, and Mughals were Sunnis. Mughals were Sunnis. So he said, you convert yourself to Shia sect. Number two, you should marry my sister. So the Shah of Iran wanted Humayun to marry his sister. So, and then once Humayun agreed, and then he said, you should conquer Kandahar. You conquer Kandahar and hand over Kandahar to me. So Kamran, one of the stepbrothers of Humayun, was holding Kabul and Kandahar. So the Shah of Iran wanted Kandahar to be handed over to him. These are the three conditions put before Humayun: convert himself to Shia sect, marry the Shah's sister, and thirdly, reconquer Kandahar from Kamran and hand it over to the Shah of Persia. And with no choice, he had no choice. He had lost everything, as you know. So Humayun agreed to these three conditions. And then a 10,000 cavalry, an army of 10,000 cavalry was given by the Shah of Persia. 10,000 troopers were given to Humayun by the Shah of Persia, Shah Tamasp. And by this time, so he already many years had lapsed. And having lost everything, Humayun's only ambition was to reconquer Delhi and re-establish the Mughal Empire. And now he had given up all his addictions: no wine, no women, no opium. And what did he do? He defeated Kamran. He attacked Kamran, conquered Kabul and Kandahar from Kamran, blinded him, and ordered Kamran to proceed to Makkah for pilgrimage. So he sent Kamran away to Makkah for pilgrimage, having reconquered Kabul and Kandahar. Right? Then he also defeated Askari. Askari was defeated. He was also blinded and asked to proceed to Makkah for pilgrimage. Hindal already had been killed by Kamran. 15 years had lapsed. By this time, 15 years had gone by. And please understand, Sher Shah, no, he had conquered Delhi when in 1540. Understand this? In 1540, Sher Shah had established the Sher Shah had established the Suri dynasty, the Sur dynasty or the Suri dynasty. But Sher Shah lived only for 5 years. He died in 1545. How did Sher Shah die? In an accident while conquering Kalinjar. In UP, present day UP, there was a fort called Kalinjar. And Sher Shah had surrounded the fort of Kalinjar. That is, he had laid siege, that's called laying siege, to the fort of Kalinjar. And so his army had surrounded the fort of Kalinjar, and artillery was being fired, cannon balls were being fired. And he was standing next to a cannon. And when the cannon was fired, the cannon ball did not burst out of the cannon and go out and hit the fort. In fact, there was a gun burst. It bursted within the artillery gun. Within the artillery gun, it burst. That's called a gun burst. So in a gun burst, Sher Shah, who was standing next to him, next to that cannon, was severely burnt and he died. So one of his grandson was ruling Delhi. His name was Sikandar Shah Sur. Sikandar Shah Sur. He was ruling Delhi. So after 15 years, that is in 1555, after 15 years, Humayun attacks Delhi. In the Battle of Sirhind, we have the Battle of Sirhind. 1555, Battle of Sirhind. He kills Sikandar Shah Sur, reconquers Delhi, and re-establishes the Mughal Empire. Right? So after 15 years, the Mughal Empire had been re-established by Humayun. And then, but within 8 months, after reconquering Delhi and re-establishing the Mughal Empire, within 8 months, Humayun one night, one night, he was fond of reading. He had a library. So he was fond of reading a lot. So he he finished his reading and he was coming down the steps of his library. You can see this building here on your screen. This is the Sher Mandal. This is the Sher Mandal at Purana Kila, Delhi. So as he was coming down the steps of his library, he tripped and fell. So he tripped and fell and he died. Okay, this was the end of Humayun. And where was Akbar at this point in time? Akbar was 13 years, 4 months old. Akbar was a young boy of 13 years, 4 months. And Akbar had been posted as the governor of Punjab by his father. So Akbar had been posted as the governor of Punjab. And to take care of young Akbar, an officer called Bairam Khan had been deputed by Humayun. So when Humayun suddenly died at Delhi, Bairam Khan came to know that Humayun had died. So what did he do? He crowned Akbar at a place called Kalanaur. So there's a place called Kalanaur in the Punjab, Kalanaur. So at a place called Kalanaur, at the age of 13 years, 4 months, this Bairam Khan crowned Akbar as king, and then taking the Mughal army, whatever army was there in the Punjab, they began to march towards Delhi. Who? Akbar and Bairam Khan. By the time they reached Delhi, Delhi had again gone away from the hands of the Mughals. So what had happened? You see, the death of Humayun leaked out. The death of Humayun had leaked out, and there was an officer called Tardi Beg. Tardi Beg was taking care of Delhi and awaiting the arrival of awaiting the arrival of Akbar and Bairam Khan. So once everybody came to know that Humayun had died, the king of Bihar, his name was Muhammad Adil Shah Sur. Muhammad Adil Shah Sur. So he was belonging to the Suri dynasty of Sher Shah, Muhammad Adil Shah Sur. He ordered his Hindu commander. He was the king of Bihar, this Muhammad Adil Shah Sur. He had a Hindu commander. His name was Hemu. So he ordered Hemu to attack Delhi and conquer Delhi. And Hemu, who was a veteran of 100 battles, nobody had defeated Hemu in 100 battles. So Hemu took his army from Bihar, attacked Delhi. Tardi Beg ran away without offering a fight. And Delhi was conquered by Hemu, who took the title of Raja Vikramjit. He sat on the throne of Delhi with the title Raja Vikramjit. And Delhi had been conquered by Hemu. So the Mughals again lost Delhi. So you have Bairam Khan and Akbar starting from Punjab, and they're going towards Delhi, and Delhi again has gone away from the hands of the Mughals. And it was Bairam Khan who had to fight against Hemu. This is the second battle of Panipat, 1556. The second battle of Panipat. Some of you might have seen that movie, Jodha Akbar. So the Jodha Akbar, where Hrithik Roshan has acted as Akbar, and then who's that? Aishwarya Rai has acted as Jodha, right? So in that movie, the movie starts with a battle scene. Akbar is still a young boy, 13 years, 4 months old. It was Bairam Khan who fought against Hemu, right? So this is the second battle of Panipat. So this is the story of Humayun. Humayun died, and 8 years after he died, 8 years after Humayun died, his queen, that is Akbar's mother, Hamida Banu Begum, built a tomb for him at Delhi. This is called Humayun's tomb. This is called Humayun. You can see on your screen, this is Humayun's tomb. This was built by Hamida Banu Begum. Hamida Banu Begum, Akbar's mother. And the beginning of Mughal architecture is from here. This is the beginning of Mughal architecture. Beginning of Mughal architecture is from this building. And this is called the precursor of the Taj Mahal. Many of the design concepts have been taken from here for the Taj. So it's called the precursor of the Taj. Timurid system, Kennedy, Timurid is, you have Timurid principalities. Timur had conquered a few areas like Kabul, Kandahar, Herat, some parts of the Punjab. He called them as Timurid principalities. And Babur, who was a descendant of Timur, felt that he has a right over those territories, at least parts of the Punjab, which his ancestor Timur had conquered. Humayun had only one son. No, Humayun had other sons. He had many wives. Humayun had many wives. Um you have Sheikh Mirza Hakim. So he was a half brother who became the ruler of Kabul. Okay, so Akbar was his eldest son. So there was another one called Sheikh Mirza who became the ruler of Kabul. He was Akbar's half brother. Mirza Hakim. His name was Mirza Hakim. Doesn't matter, Harsh, whether you have. I said some of you might have seen the movie. I did not say all of you. So if you have not seen the movie, don't worry. Don't bother about it. If you happen to, if the movie happens to come across, then you see. Timurid was related to King Timur. Timur, I told you, Babur was a descendant of Timur from his father's side. And from his mother's side, Genghis Khan. All right. So this is the story of Humayun. So you can see here on your screen, we'll come back here. So Humayun, so he lost everything which his father had built. In two battles he was fought. He was defeated, Battle of Chausa in 1539 by Sher Shah, and Battle of Kannauj or Bilgram in 1540. He took shelter with Shah Tahmasp of Iran and recaptured Delhi in 1555. Died in 1556, falling from the steps of his library, Sher Mandal, Purana Killa, Delhi. Built the city of Deen Pana at Delhi. So this is the sixth city of Delhi, built by Humayun, Deen Pana. Then this is inside the the Humayun tomb complex. We have Barber's tomb. I believe this tomb on your screen you can see a tomb. This was supposedly Humayun's favorite barber. That's why it's called Barber's tomb. So he was emperor's favorite barber, I believe. So he has got a tomb here inside the Humayun tomb complex in Delhi. Barber's tomb. Then we have Deen Pana or Shergarh in Delhi. Then you have the Jamali Mosque and the Mosque of Isa Khan at Delhi, built by Humayun. Then he instituted the Tabal Adal, drum of justice. What is this drum of justice? So you have a huge drum with a stick, with two sticks, uh, huge drum or a nakara, more of a huge drum, not a tabla. So that was placed very near to the palace. And any aggrieved person, somebody wants justice, he feels that he has been, um, you know, injustice has been meted out to him. If he feels that way, then he can come and he or she can come and play on that drum. So, and it will make a huge amount of noise. And the emperor, whether it's even if it's the middle of the night, doesn't matter. The emperor will come personally and he will attend to that person and he'll give instant justice. So that is the drum of justice, which was uh, installed by Humayun. And one of his wives, Haji Begum, built a tomb at Delhi. This is called the prototype of the Taj Mahal. Now, one more thing. When Humayun was in Persia, in Iran, he met two painters, Khwaja Abd al Samad and Mir Said Ali Tabrizi. So he met two painters there, and he was very impressed with their painting. So he told them that if destiny wills, and one day I happen to reconquer Delhi and re-establish the Mughal Empire, then you come to my court. I'll make you my court painters. And after Humayun, reconquered Delhi, re-established the Mughal Empire, these two painters came from Persia, Mir Said Ali Tabrizi and Khwaja Abd al Samad. And Humayun appointed them as his court painters. They continued to paint even under Akbar, these two painters. Okay, so this is about the story of Humayun. Are you there with me, all of you? How Babur died, I told you. Babur died, I told you how he died, the circumstances which, how he died. So he asked for an exchange of life, I believe, and then Humayun he recovered and Babur died. A natural, you can call it as a natural death. Okay, then we come to Akbar. So, any doubts here? Any questions here? Any doubts? So we'll go for a break and meet at 6 o'clock. Hello? Can we go for a break and meet at 6 o'clock? Who was the king who died while playing Chaugan? Polo. Polo is Kutubuddin Aibak, Kennedy. Chaugan is Polo. Kutubuddin Aibak, while playing Polo, he died. Chaugan. So can we meet at 6 o'clock, all of you? Right? So revise your lessons, please. Revise your lessons. Don't underestimate medieval India. UPSC used to, see, I'll tell you something. Earlier, UPSC used to ask some questions from ancient. And most of the questions used to be from modern India and art and culture. Last 2-3 years, what we are seeing is UPSC is asking equal number of questions from ancient, medieval, less number of questions from modern India and art and culture. Then also questions from art and culture and current affairs related to art and culture section. So if the student is thinking that most of the questions will come from modern India, let me focus only on modern India, not do other sections, then it is counterproductive. It's going to be counterproductive for you. And again, please understand, all questions in modern India you cannot answer because UPSC will find some question, 1 or 2 questions, which nobody can answer every year. So therefore, you see that your overall score goes up. And how to increase the overall score? You read broadly so that you can answer some questions from ancient, some from medieval, okay, some from art and culture, some from modern. So your overall total will go up. And that applies to other subjects also. So when you read broadly and cover all the syllabus broadly, then there's a better chance of success in the prelims. Okay, so don't neglect any segment of the syllabus. Take your time, study properly, okay, and revise properly and study smartly. Okay, we'll meet at 6 o'clock. Carry on.